All right. What's up, Comic-Con Revolution 2025? Yeah. I'm not going to let him wait any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the cast of Smallville, everybody!
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
First date.
Thanks for waiting, guys. Welcome, guys. So I gotta give it up for Talkville, my friend. Who listens to Talkville out here? Alright, if you're not, raising your hand, whip out your smartphones right now, pull up Spotify or Apple Podcasts and subscribe right now. I feel like I'm in a live Talkville podcast right here. We're coming up on almost 3 years, correct?
Yeah, 3 years of the Rewatch podcast. Erica's been on. Michael's been on. We enjoy it.
Now I know you guys did back in 2002. You've been talking about starting up. What was the big catalyst that made you guys?
I was just like, hey, Tom, I think people would really like if we did like a podcast about the show, and I haven't seen most of the episodes, so it's interesting. And Tom pretty much told me, it's been a long time since we were doing Smallville. He was removed from it, so he felt like it was the time.
You also had a built-in production team from your side.
Yeah. Yes. So I said it's turnkey. We've got people who will help us out with it, and we'll have some guests. We'll just have fun. So I think you guys like it. If not, if you like Smallville, you gotta listen to the podcast.
I think I love Tom. You kind of have a photographic memory for what happened on the Banter each episode. Or not.
You may have missed the episodes where literally we'll start talking, and Michael, do you have any memories? And I'm like, I don't remember even being on that episode. Our producer just told us the other day because I was on recording for his other podcast the other day with him, and he goes, I've noticed that it's toward the end of the season where you seem to be saying that. And I'm just like, I don't have anything to say about it.
You were done.
When you do that in the episodes, they kind of run together. You're on the same set, so you can't really remember exact things. You're like, wow. Sometimes I watch a scene, I'm sure you have, where you look at it, you're like, I don't, like, nothing brings it up.
You remember generalities, like people will be like, what's your favorite episode, or what's this, and I'll go, I liked everything that we did in the barn, or I liked the Daily Planet, or I liked different varieties of things, but when you end up doing so many scenes that are the same.
Yeah.
Even during the rewatch, somebody said, hey, remember in the first season of Talkville when you guys talked about this?
Actually, Tom just goes,
that sounds like a personal problem.
It is.
So when you shoot a television show, you shoot for 10 months. We did Smallville for 10 months. We started on film and then moved to digital. And we made it's 7 days. So you shoot 5 days and then you shoot 2 days the next week and then you start a new show. So we really don't have any notion of when one show stops and one show starts. Because we're in the barn, like you said, we're in the house, we're in wherever we are. So we really don't have any concept of what show is what. Yeah. And we also shoot all the barn stuff first. We shoot all the barn stuff at one time. We shoot all the kitchen or the Kent Farm stuff at one time. So they call it block shooting. You block shoot all of that stuff. So really, we have no concept of continuity because you may shoot the end first, who knows. And then the show comes out and you all see it for the first time. And then sometimes, those of us who watch it, which I did, I loved Smallville. I know that some people watch the show. But then you see it and it's, oh my God, this is great. It's wonderful. This is amazing that all this stuff came together. And then we come to something like this, and somebody says, in episode 18 in season 7 or season 4, sorry, I never saw season 7. That's because you died, brother. I think you killed the wrong guy. But then, you ask questions, and it's so cool. It's like we're living in Galaxy Quest.
I've learned now when people come up to me and go, "Oh, remember this?" I go, "Yes." Totally. Great. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's funny. I do the exact opposite. I have no idea.
Be honest.
Nope. Next question.
Yeah.
Next question.
Your two former guests on Talkville, do you have a favorite guest that you've had on Talkville?
Easy.
I don't know. I mean, besides the regular cast, it's interesting to have like Glenn Winter, who's our DP and directed some episodes, have him on, see his perspective. Greg Beeman, producer on the show.
You had Alan Miles too, right?
I love Beeman.
Alan Miles,
I love Beeman. Alan Miles, the creator, is having them on. They always have if you listen to the show, sometimes they go, "Let's call Al."
Yep.
And I just call him randomly. Hey, Michael. Hey, dude, what the
Am I
hell?
on?
Yeah, and I go, "What the hell is this episode about?" He's like, "What is it?" He goes, "Oh yeah, we were trying." He explains what they were
He
doing.
remembers it all.
He remembers so much.
He's like, "What episode are you on?" We're like, "Season 2, episode 13. What was this whole thing about this?" And he's like, "Oh, well, what we were trying to do." And it's like, "How does he
That's cool. It's cool talking to our makeup artist,
Yeah.
Natalie, and how she put up with me. And how she was like my mother. I mean, when you're on set in the makeup trailer, when they had to do my hair, well, no hair. My head. And so I was in there like the first few seasons, 2.5 hours. So she got to know so much of me, like too much of me. And, I got emotional when, I left the show because I walked out, I thought I was fine, and I gave her a hug, and I was like, "Oh my God, she's such a part of my life." You spend more time with these people cumulatively than you do with your family. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, true that.
Thank you. I got an audience mic here. I want to kick it off. I want you guys to ask the questions and line up here. Don't be shy. Who's going to kick it off?
Yes, and just so you know, so everybody can have a chance, or some people have a chance, don't be like, "Oh, this is part 1 of my 4 questions."
Yeah.
You put 1 question so people can,
One question, please. Can I sit down? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think I'm
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My friend, kick it off, please.
All right, will do. I just wanted to say thank you all for dedicating your time to the show. It really meant a lot to me growing up, and it left an impact on my life.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you. That's
dedicating
really
your
nice.
time. Next question.
No.
All right, so my question is to everybody who's watched or rewatched the show, what is your favorite episode and why?
Erica? Erica, what's your favorite episode?
I have like little parts that I kind of like the show. I liked when she finally told Blur that she knew who he was and I was happy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the
You are
she
so-
zippers or she does something else that everybody would expect her to do. I thought, what if she just like ran from one end of the room to the other and just knocked you over? And we did it.
And you did.
Yeah, that's fun. Maybe not for him, but I.
Of the 3 episodes you remember.
Yeah. I do remember quite vividly an episode called Transference.
Yeah.
Lionel and Clark switch bodies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Challenging and exciting and very felt like I was really doing something.
John, I'm guessing I know one that wasn't.
What was not my favorite?
Reckoning.
No. I thought that was. I
It
thought
was a great episode.
I thought the 100th episode of Smallville was one of the best hours of television ever. It was great.
For sure.
Yeah, but having said that, I enjoyed Nicodemus because I got to be, mad and angry and try to shoot him with a shotgun. But my favorite thing was that we were in Merritt. Is that the town where we shot?
Yep.
Okay, so we're in Merritt, and I come screaming. Was it called Burn? No. We were in the town. The actual. No, we were in a town. So I came screaming around a corner in the pickup truck with the door open. So I'm sliding the trucks. I'm doing the best Dukes of Hazzard. I'm sliding the car sideways, and the inertia doesn't work in my favor. So I'm holding the door out, and I'm yelling at somebody. And then I think it was you. I said, "My God, you really can drive like that." So that was a lot of fun.
You kind of looked at me like,
Well, yeah.
I think, there's a lot of fun episodes that I think, when I split in half and Onyx and Leximus and all that. But I think, honestly, the first time I saw the pilot, I was like, wow, I'm finally on a good show. it just was so emotional. It's like, oh my gosh, this is really quality stuff, and I'm a part of it. So I always look at the pilot, the very first episode, how it all started. So that's what.
My question is, you guys spend so much time with your characters, you probably learn them inside and out. Is there maybe like one thing that you either really hated about your character or one thing that you really loved about your character?
I hated what he did to Lana.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't think he had to do that.
Yes.
That's the one thing I didn't.
I lied to her about being pregnant.
Yeah. But I love throwing my dad off the building. That was awesome. I love my sister. Things. John.
I don't have anything that I didn't like about Jonathan Kent.
How about how he treated Lex?
I think he was too lenient with Lex. I think that shotgun should have been pointed at you. But I think one of my favorite, I don't remember the name of the show, but the bad guy's name was Nixon. And I remember he was in the barn and he was coming after Clark, and Clark was moving toward him, and I pushed him out of the way so I could be in between this threat that was coming to my son. And it was just, people doing it. That sounds so weird. But I realized, this is the strongest person or non-person in the world, and it was a father's love for his son that made me strong enough to push him away to get him out of danger. Same thing happened on the episode where I died, where he was seeing Lana, and she had died in that accident. And in order to make it so he wouldn't have to see that, I grabbed the strongest person in the world and spun him around so he didn't have to look at it. And I thought, this is really amazing. The power of love. The power of love. And I'm not sure that they wrote it with that intention, but I think that's what was displayed. Because at that moment, he was saving his girlfriend at the expense of his father. And he didn't really realize that yet. And I thought it was just wonderful. So those instances where Jonathan Kent, and what was the one where you were about to punch me, you were wearing the red, wait, you don't know.
It might be called Red.
It might be called Red. Red.
In the cornfield.
Anything? How about you?
I don't know. There are some things about your character that, especially transference. It's there's things you intrinsically know about your character that you don't maybe even realize until someone else plays your character and starts asking you questions that you're kind of like, oh well, I guess I do that, and I guess this is how I do it. And I think a couple times I always really loved doing the stunt days and the idea of Clark having to feel the weight of these things that in real life are not heavy, like the hay bales, for example. And maybe I got it from you a little bit. Like when Clark picks them up, they're hollowed out. But I think I had to get it from you. Like you have to show that it's got weight to it. Like you ever see people in movies, they're running with backpacks and they're bouncing all over the place because there's nothing in the backpack, that kind of thing. So I thought that was fun, and I was able to share that with other people along the way.
Great, really long answers. Erica?
Sorry, Michael has to leave, but he's got an appointment.
No, I just want everybody to get a
This is my
chance.
life. It's 25 years later.
She was flexible in body and spirit. And I'm not as flexible in body anymore, but my spirit's pretty I'm working on it. I gotta check it.
Thank you. Come on up.
Hi. I just want to say thank you for being part of my entire life I grew up watching you guys on screen. So my question is, with all the seasons and all the episodes, there's a lot of costumes and props. I was wondering, what did you guys take and what was your favorite?
I kept the Zod jacket, I kept suits, I kept the jumpsuit. Countless props, paintings, and glasses. You name it, I took it. Anything else?
The back of my chair that said Durance in Smallville, because I was like the first big thing I ever got. Yeah, and my nameplate that said Lois.
That's nice. Tom?
Nothing.
Wow.
I had the knife from the episode I directed.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't have it
Was
anymore.
that Talisman?
Talisman, yeah.
All right, next question.
Yep, I did.
Thank you.
Great. The tip was bent, though. It was a great episode. Stop.
Hello, nice to see you all, especially you, Tom.
Thanks a lot.
Good to see you guys, especially Tom.
Yeah, this is a big camera.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Also grew up watching you guys too. So my question is, what are your favorite moments from the show? Like, for example, one of my favorite moments was like Lex talking to Clark about the Man Tomorrow thing. Like this, when he was running for student president. Yeah, like that. What are your favorite moments?
I think honestly, the things I think of is just camaraderie, just being on set with these guys and the fun we had and making scenes better. But I love like when we're in the barn, stuff of our friendship is going to be the stuff of legend. Kind of that felt like, oh wow, this is bigger than any of us. This is cool. So, John,
Michael. Well, like he said, the relationships we had off camera were and are they're great. That's important when you watch people on camera. If they don't get along, if they don't truly care about one another, then I think that shows.
he drove me in the General Lee. I went to his house.
I did. I drove
in the General Lee. We cruised around.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
It was fun. We love each other, and we have since the beginning, which is great. So I think just working with these folks was tremendous. I remember when Erica came onto the show, and she was like, and is like this amazing person. But you were so shy. You were so shy. You're still shy. You're still shy. So it's great to know that people are worthy. Not me, but the people I know are worthy of your adoration. And with some possible, no, he is too. I had more fun working with this clown because the biggest problem for Jonathan Kent, in my mind, was pretending I didn't think this guy was great.
Oh.
Yeah, truly. So
He had to really act to make that.
that wasn't hard. It wasn't.
Tom?
I mean, to follow up with that, I always look forward to the idea that I knew that whatever actor was going to come into the scene or the next scene, that we were going to be teammates, and it was going to be better as a result. Because if anybody was there at Smallville Nights last night, we kind of talk about the ridiculous things that you read in the scene and how the actor brings them to life. And I always just felt like, and I would feed off the other actors' energies too. So it was very helpful.
I loved a lot of our banter that we had. We got a good vibe going there. But I like the moments where we could find little things of foreshadowing. That I was like, oh, people are going to love to see this piece and this piece, and it's kind of a little tease. And so I liked when they did that with a lot of the different characters, where they would just sprinkle something in of what you know they're going to become.
There was in the rewatch, I've noticed that a lot of that happened when we were like in the Kent house and we were with Jonathan and Michael, because we were signaling each other in a way that you guys would kind of see it, but maybe not want to talk about it. Not because it wasn't so overt, but we would tease each other.
Yeah.
The characters would, and it worked.
But no, it's not the first time, but it's like, I'm sitting
night.
here on a panel and people are so interested in the show that we did for so long. And it's been so many years, and it's just I was like, man, this is cool. This is just cool to be able to talk about something you did that people enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Come on up. You can tilt that down if you want.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here in front of you guys, but I was wondering what was your favorite thing to eat on set?
I love when they have the Thanksgiving sandwiches on set.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce stuffing sandwiches. Dude, I used to eat the shit. And then I'd crash and be exhausted. Get out of here, Clark!
These like little squares, and so you'd be like, oh, I can eat 2 of those, and then you go back, and next thing you've eaten 6 of them.
There's 4 is one sandwich, really.
Well, and then before COVID, we had candy tray and cheese tray.
Yeah.
So they would like small children that need to behave. They would kind of like bring out things for us. We'd all be in a little coma and be kind of cranky, but then we knew candies were coming. Close to end of day, we'd get cheese and. Yeah.
I remember one time one of our directors, we were running behind, it was late, whatever it was time for that candy tray to come out. And I remember him jumping in front of the guy with the candy tray. He said, get the ball up, I said, do not go in there. I have no time for candy, because what happens when the candy tray, everybody goes, oh, it's 20 more minutes. 20 minutes later. It's like, now's not the time.
All right, who's next? Thank you.
Great question. Come on up.
Hi, Michael Rosenbaum. We're 2 months away from James Gunn's Superman, and I want to know what your tentative plans are. Are you trying to get invites to the premiere? Are you going to take your kids? What's happening?
Did you say trying to get invites to the premiere? I'll tell you what, they should be trying to get our acceptance. There would be no Superman without Smallville.
No.
There would be no DC universe without Smallville. That's how you can say, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. You can say, I don't want people to forget the first thing that ever worked 1,000,000% in this entire world was Smallville. So they should send us, but we should be on their perpetual Christmas list.
Look, I'll say that James Gunn's a really close friend of mine, and he's a great director, and I know he put his heart and soul into this. Well, he put his heart and soul into it, and he wants it to be great, and he's a very dear friend of mine, and I'm excited. I'm glad. Nicholas is a great guy. He's playing Lex, and I wish them all the best. And I'm going to go see it. I think everybody should go see it. So. And who's that shirt?
Thank you.
Damn, who's that shirt?
Oh, I know, he's great.
Come on up.
That was Sam Jones.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I know it takes a lot, but I wanted to specifically say thank you to Mrs. Durance for it was very motivating.
Mrs. Durance.
Turn to hear about me.
Just to keep it brief, I was someone who was very quiet and always tried to be quiet, but ever since I met you as a character and just seeing your interviews, it really motivated me to be able to be where I'm at and just stand up here and accomplish many things outside of my personal life, so thank you. So my question for you guys is, as a PA assistant in many of my college and professors and stuff like that, what's something that you guys remember, either like an assistant or a worker, or maybe just a behind the scenes that is always stuck by you, like even if it's
Russ. Russ was this big, lovable guy who worked on set. He was, the smoke machine would be going like, Russ, enough with the smoke. Oh, Michael, just doing my job. I loved him dearly. He passed away a few years ago, and it broke my heart. And he was such a good, so I loved seeing him every day on set. And it's just like those people that worked so hard and just did their jobs so well and cared about it. It's all those people that are an integral part of a show. So that's what I do.
I think of the stunt folks. Because, people don't talk about the stunts on Smallville because, of course, Clark, it was all real. But there were stunt folks that risked their lives every time they came to work. And they were fantastic. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And thankfully, just in this last year, the Academy has finally recognized stunt performers. A buddy of mine, a guy that I actually went to high school with, who doubled me on Dukes of Hazzard. His name is Jack Gill, and he was the one. He's one of the coordinators on Fast and Furious, and he has given the last 25, 30 years to trying to make that happen.
Wow.
So it has finally happened. Because the stunt performers are the only ones who come to work and don't know if they're going to go home. So my hat is off to all of them. And your coverage is amazing. Chris.
Yeah. Well, you referenced maybe something that I could share that might help you as you navigate. I remember someone asking me, how do I like to work on set? And I didn't know what they meant, and we kind of talked about it. And I've then taken that when I meet, especially new people, and we're talking about a project, one of the first things I ask is, how do you like to work? And it's not they can say whatever they want, whether they like to shoot a lot of scenes or, shoot quickly or slowly or rehearse a lot, but it gets you on the same page of communication. And you can look for that in the people who are coming to work for you, and you can share that with people that you want to work for. Yeah.
I think along the lines of somebody working with you in the capacity that you do as a PA, you're trying to find a way to support. When I think about the people that were incredibly supportive to me, often the people that are the last people to see you before you do any scene or anything like that, that was often whoever was working in hair and makeup or wardrobe. And I found that they were able to very, very quickly recognize my humanity, my infallibility, and my need to just be human and have my little moments. And they were so incredibly generous and patient and very, very, very hardworking. And so I take that away and I go, I want to be more like that.
Oh,
There were many times we'd finish a scene and maybe you just don't feel great about it. And sometimes I'd turn to Steve, wardrobe, or I'd turn to Natalie and be like, what's that? And they'd be, you're good, they're okay. And that almost made you feel better than anybody else, because they're very close, intimate relationships.
They tell the truth.
And they tell the truth.
Steve always cracked me up, man. I would walk in the trailer, I go, I don't want to wear this purple shirt. He goes, I don't care what you wear. You want to go without a shirt? Oh my God.
Thank you.
In the show, even if it wasn't where you were still in it or out of it, or if you weren't in it, what was throughout the entire show the favorite era that the story went through? Similar, like when he was in the farm and still in the early years of high school, or the red kryptonite part, or
Not the when blur, I can tell you that.
Season 6. I really love season 6.
Thanks a lot, pal.
I've been like 5 a lot, but I just watched season 6 for the first time.
What season did you die in? Well, what did you go away in? I was dead. I didn't know if you died or not.
I like all this stuff, but I like when it becomes more adult. I love that when it gets, the relationship. So, yeah, 5 and 6.
That was great. I know. I died in the 100th episode. I like season 5 too. I like the running for Congress, Senate.
Senate.
Thank you. Sorry. I like the running for Senate thing because I thought it tied in the relationship between Jonathan and Martha, and that Jonathan had other. He wanted to help Smallville. And it also tied in the way that Lionel was able to kind of cancer into relationships. And when I found that, if you're going to have a heart attack and die on a show, I think that was the most noble way. That was like the red badge of courage. So that was my favorite. And to add to that quickly is, that storyline would not have started if Tom Wopat from Dukes of Hazzard hadn't had a lap dance as a senator and caused me to take his place. I thought it was wonderful.
And that's what made it so crazy when Lionel and Martha got together later.
I mean, they didn't really get together. I want my watch back.
Lionel was trying.
Erica?
I'm somewhere else. Probably season 8, even though I didn't love the blur stuff.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Now you know how it feels.
It's a little bit more like Metropolis.
Yes.
It was like heading towards some of that stuff, and I just felt like it was people were ready to see that like.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 and 6. That's cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, pass it back. Pass it back.
All right, so I have a general question for everybody. When you look around in this room and you see the legacy that you guys pretty much left starting in 2001 to even today, now little kids are watching it. How does that make you feel knowing that you've inspired so many with the characters that you portrayed on the show for 10 seasons?
Awesome.
For some of you.
It feels
You
great.
guys.
It's still amazing to hear when people are like, your show is so important to me. So I can't say enough about the fans and response and all that.
I just heard last night at a restaurant how a gentleman who was in Baghdad watched Smallville on DVD in a tent. And he was there protecting our country, protecting the world, and he was watching Smallville with a bunch of others. And that is amazing to me. So I love it. I love it.
Yeah, grateful and appreciative. Sure, Erica.
Yeah, really happy that it's something that multi-generationally people are coming together as families. They have good memories. They can share lots of great stories, and sometimes it feels like when you're out there, you're doing something that's particularly self-focused, and then you find out later that you were lucky to be part of something that people actually felt a bit moved by. So I'm really grateful.
Thank you. Pass it back.
I basically watched you guys on TV with my mom since I was a kid up until I graduated high school for that last season. But my question is, was there an episode you actually did not like?
Yes.
I didn't like the one where we all had to turn into weird wax dolls. And you guys
Oh God, that was horrible.
That was
Redux,
I don't know what it was, but it was that one was tricky.
vampires.
No. Just we went on this really positive note.
There's hundreds of episodes, so there's going to be some duds. Yeah, there were some episodes where I'm like, great.
No. No, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything.
Or me neither.
This is silly, or this is ridiculous. No, I thought it was all incredibly well done and great stories, very well told.
Yeah, I think at times it can be slower. At times it's faster. And that could happen within the same episode. But overall, we have a scale on the podcast. I think I rate it higher than Michael.
It's the Rosenbaum rating. 3 roses, 2 roses, 1 rose, middle, and then bombs. 1, 2, 3 bombs. That's funny. Rose and bomb rating system. All right, next. Thank you.
Thank you. Pass it back.
All right, 10 years of show, 10 years of characters, 10 years of guest stars. Who was your favorite guest star or favorite secondary character that is important to think?
What a great question, Erica. Let me start with you.
I have no idea.
Great, Tom.
There's so many. Sorry, I blank. There's so many good
There's
people that
so
came
many,
in.
but we just had, I'm blanking on his name right now, who played Martian Manhunter.
Phil Morris.
Phil Morris.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed working with him because he brought just so much to
I
him.
know the name.
With his character who I knew nothing about.
Yeah. My favorite was watching a wonderful screen actor realize that he had to do more in the next hour and a half than he usually did in a day or two. And he was like, wait, what? Do you know what I'm talking about? No. Rutger Hauer.
Oh, yeah.
Rutger Hauer was wonderful and is, well, he's passed, but an amazing actor. But when he realized that he had to do this entire scene in the next 45 minutes, he was like a deer in the headlights. He was scared to death in the barn. And it was amazing for me to watch, because apparently the 45-minute scene was violating his process. But he wasn't mean about it. He was wonderful. And he plays such a great bad guy. That was fun for me to watch.
Yeah. There's so many, like they said, so many great guest stars. They're all great. I mean, not all.
What about
Christopher Reeve?
What about Christopher?
Yeah.
And people don't know that you had to go. You know where you went? You went to Westchester County, New York.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. So you went to where I'm from to go shoot those scenes with Christopher. Yeah. That's new news for you. Good news for you.
Of all the antagonists that were in the show, what was your favorite one?
Lex.
Lionel's kind of an antagonist.
Oh, Lionel was great. John was fantastic.
Yeah, any Luther.
Any Luther in a storm.
The woman who played Lillian Luther, she was awesome.
Cassidy was a she was kind of a bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
She was fantastic. Tess was great.
Thank you.
That's tough. That was we're going to think about that. I think we gave a poor answer, but we're going to think about that. Well, I think he gave a poor answer.
Go ahead.
Think about
What's
that.
your question?
Go for it.
First of all, I thank you so much for inspiring so many people in all of our age groups, like this generation, and you did such a great job with the show. And my question is, like, if you could trade spots with anyone willingly in the show, who would it be, and how was it like filming in Vancouver?
I would trade with Lana. She gets to kiss Clark. I don't know. Would I trade? I'd like to play Lionel Luther.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. He's a great character. Jonathan Kent's a great character. You guys are great characters. I don't know. They're all great. I don't know if I would switch, but if I had to switch, Pete.
Stick around as long as you did.
Wow, that's right. I think Lionel, for me, I think it would be great to. One episode I did mean Jonathan Kent, but I think Lionel would be the most fun to switch places with.
Good parents and bad
Well, yeah, because that was always a question. What if Lionel Luther had found young Clark, or if young Clark had found them? What if we say we didn't find him, he found us? What if you found them instead? I think that's a great question.
What if you found Lex? What if you had the parent Lex?
I think you'd have been a better person.
Probably.
Yeah, I do. I think that's one of the undertones of Smallville was about that. You know, is it nature or nurture? And I think that this could have been the single largest force for good or the single largest force for evil. It just depended a lot on Jonathan and Martha. So I mean,
I would have switched with it.
the question is if you have to.
And I don't have to.
I really liked Lois.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm not trading that.
I feel like Vancouver, everybody had a different feeling about Vancouver. I was fine because I was home.
Yeah.
Good answer. Next question.
Go for it.
You mentioned earlier, Tom, that your favorite episode was where you switched bodies and flying off.
That was after episode 100, right? Sorry.
How was it like? You mentioned episode Red, putting on the Kryptonite ring and just playing that different role, Clark Kent to Cal.
In that specific episode?
Just anytime you put on the red kryptonite ring, even with Alicia and when she goes through the red kryptonite.
Well, the red kryptonite thing, for some reason I stumbled upon this idea that Clark wasn't evil, he just didn't have any concern for any consequence for his actions. That was my sort of window into that. And for John, I just tried to find a couple mannerisms that he does have with Lionel, establish those quickly, and try not to do too much. In the way, because the audience already knows that I'm him, so I use that to my advantage too.
That is awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks, dude.
John, Tom, I just want to say thank you. I mean, to be the greatest man I possibly become, so I want to say thank you for that. And then it's kind of coming off of the red meteorite. Tom, you had the opportunity to act completely different from the normal self or for the normal Clark. But the question is for the other actors, how was it acting around seeing that different Clark? That's a great question.
I was amazed, actually. I was amazed when, because I know this guy really well. This is a really good guy. And when I don't think John Wick existed yet. But when he first got on the motorcycle at the Kent farm, he was an entirely different person. And I was very impressed. I was very, very impressed. And I thought that episode, anytime he turned into the other guy, it was astonishing to me. So I'm applauding you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Tom always worked really hard. But it was cool. It was definitely a cool dynamic to Lex standing there and Clark walks in acting like an asshole. It's like, what are you doing? So it's just kind of like, it's cool. It's cool to react that way in a Lex way.
Thank you. Come on up.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good. Very good.
Well.
Thank you.
Great to hear.
We're anticipating the best question of the game.
I got it in my mind.
All right.
But yeah, just like similar to everybody else, I'm a big fan. I was entertained by the show for years, like everybody else here. So before I get to my question, can we get a round of applause for the cast one more time, please? For you. So Smallville, as great of a show as it was, it also featured great music. Some of the artists that were actually
I can't stand to fly that night. I'm more than a bird.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, so being that Smallville featured various music, there's different artists that came out of that show. All American Rejects, Snow Patrol, and I guess some of the music that was actually featured on the show kind of drove the episodes too. So are there like certain artists or maybe certain songs that stand out looking back now that maybe you guys enjoyed?
I mean, the theme song still rocks.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that we had gotten a U2 song, and I was like, whoa, I think that's
Yeah, that song hurt when I'm like in my straight jacket and Johnny Cash is singing.
Johnny Cash.
Remember that? What's that train song? I always remember the train song. No. But the Smallville was the Miami Vice of its time. If those of you who are old enough to remember Miami Vice, that's where Phil Collins and all of that amazing music came from, their association with Miami Vice. And when that music started happening on Smallville, I was thinking, somebody back there was a big fan of Miami Vice. They figured this out. So thank you. I thought the music on Smallville was fantastic. Yeah. Wonderful.
That was the best question.
Good question.
Thank you. What do you got?
Hi, I'm a little nervous, sorry. I want to say hi to everybody. Grew up watching the show. After investing 10 years into it, I felt kind of cheated not seeing Tom in the Superman suit. Coming back for Legends of Tomorrow, I was excited. All these ideas of, how's he going to be in the suit? How's he going to look? And then I was cheated once again.
My friend,
what's the question?
No flights, no
The lesson you learned
tights.
from that is if Tom says he's not going to do something, he's not going to do it.
Question: do you think you'll ever do something that maybe happened in between the end of Smallville and before Legends, where we might see you in the suit at one point?
I mean, I don't want to say yes and cheat you again. The answer is, I don't know.
It's on the suit when we're hanging out.
It's in his carry-on bag.
Thank you. We got 5 minutes left. Rapid fire.
All right, rapid fire questions. What's your kids? Here we go.
Alright, thank you for being here. My favorite seasons are season 9 and 4. So I just want to ask about episodes from season 4, about the crypto episode, which is about the dog. So I'm wondering if y'all remember anything interesting from that to share, because that's one of my favorite episodes.
I remember it was really cute. The dog was really cute. I learned that they don't feed the dog for 2 days before they work. And I was like, oh man, give the dog a treat. But yeah, it's to keep their attention. It's kind of funny. Not funny at all. But it's a different dynamic. The shots are different because the dog's down there, and everything has to change for the dog. And then
Be the dog,
try to
Tom. Be the dog.
Get the dog in, and you get the dog out as soon as possible because it takes up a lot of production time.
Wow. Yeah. W.C. Fields was right.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pass back.
All right, little man. What you got?
What was your favorite stunt?
Favorite stunt?
Mine was when Clark jumped onto the back of an 18-wheeler.
That was great.
The truck, it wasn't moving when I jumped on it. We had to do some green screen work, but then I stood up and it was actually moving. And I remember I told my parents and they weren't happy.
That was great. So I like that stunt too.
My favorite stunt was when you slowed the school bus down a little bit in episode 100. Episode 100 was great. Except for that one part.
I liked being in that cage where we fought, and I was wearing the red thing, and I had to run.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had to run up that ramp to get on the back of Kate's back. This is so big.
It's 8 foot tall.
Yeah, so that one was really fun.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, big man.
Now, Mom has a question.
Christopher Reeve was my Superman, and you guys embodied that so much. And I wanted to ask the cast, what did you take away from those Supermans of the Big Bang?
I mean, that's who I think of when people say Superman even now. You know, especially the scene where he's in the diner and he loses his powers and he gets beat up. And the way he comes back into the diner when he has powers back and what he chooses to do, it's brilliant. It's not just obvious everything's going to happen. But yeah, it's still inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll let Tom answer that.
Absolutely.
Well, there she is.
Tom Welling will always be my Superman.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's just there. Just
You need to.
All right, Clark.
You guys make really good episodes, and I love your show. But which episode did you have the most fun having, and which one was the most boring?
What a great question.
Oh man.
My favorite episode was the one where Tom Pat from Dukes was on. I thought it was great. I thought it was very clever.
I like Lexus.
Yes. You like which one?
Lexus. That was good.
What season was that?
5. 5.
Oh, okay. Then I thought it was great.
I liked Homecoming and Noir.
Noir.
Oh, yeah. She got to see.
It was so hectic. It was never quite boring, but there was a day where a night shoot that we were shooting in a cemetery, and things got messed up, and they brought me in. I think at 7 p.m. and I didn't end up shooting until I think like 5 in the morning.
Is that when they had the angel wings behind you?
Yeah.
Early on, yeah. And then you were driving yourself. They were trying to kill you.
I was bored because I was sitting around waiting. Like I was like, well, should I take a nap? Should I just go to sleep? Wake me up? But that doesn't work. And so it was just sort of a very boring night.
Let me just tell you, ultimately, it's a lot of boredom. You shoot a scene and then you sit for an hour. You shoot and then you sit for 2 hours. So a lot of time, you just have a lot of time to just be there.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to be okay with
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah.
I hear the clock ticking. Next question.
Let's grab two
The
more,
answer is no.
yeah.
Yes.
These last 2 questions, Lex will have the final answer.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. One of the questions is when you go back home and you see a picture of a photo album when you were 10 years old, what would you tell yourself at 10 years old if you saw yourself?
I would say, hey man, you are something, kid. You are good. You are good now.
Yes, you are.
There's no sense in having a small dream. So dream bigger.
Yeah.
I've been saying this lately to my kids. I've switched from saying "Have a great day" to "Make your day great." Don't say the first thing that comes to mind.
She's from Vancouver.
What's the sixth you're gonna use? Yeah, just skip the first 5.
I think it would be to be much kinder to myself and to realize that life is full of a lot of surprises. So don't freak out if it doesn't go your way.
Amen.
All right, Alexander.
Lex.
Finish it off, Lex. Stand up for Alexander's question.
Stand up for Alexander's question. Here it is.
What was your favorite lesson or moral dilemma in the show?
What was your favorite what?
Lesson or moral dilemma in the show?
My God.
The first one that comes to mind very quickly was something that Clark got from Jonathan Kent, which was believe in yourself. Yeah.
Never judge anyone because you don't know what they've been through.
You are designed magically and wonderfully to do something very specific in this world for the benefit of other people.
From Lois's perspective, if you love someone, let them tell you their story when they're ready.
On that note, we love the hell out of you. We're going to be signing for a little while longer. We'll see you.
Come to the tables, we'll be there.
Mike, can we do the reverse?
Oh, yeah, picture.
Go crazy behind us, everybody.
Everybody,
go crazy
stand up
behind
in a minute.
All right, go nuts, everybody. Go nuts. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Captain Smallville. Thank you, Cargo Revolution.